Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see the mood disorders. Yeah, we'll see what is mood disorders, what are the types or a classification of mood disorders, clinical features, and the treatment. Okay, first we'll start with the introduction. Introduction. Mania is a mood disorder and it is a type of functional psychosis. See, mania, it is a mood disorder and it is a type of functional psychosis and it is characterized by elevation of mood, overactivity and self-employment, self-important ideas. The lifetime risk of manic episode is about 0.8 to 1%. Here, emotions can be described as two main types. The one that is affect and the mood. First one, affect, which is a short-lived emotional response to an idea or an event. See, emotions or mood disorders depends upon two factors, that is affect and mood. Affect, which is a short-lived emotional response to an idea or an event, and mood, which is sustained and pursue emotional response which follows the whole psychic life. So according to these definitions, depression and mania are mood disorders and not affective disorders. See, according to the affect and mood, these definitions, that is depression and mania, are mood disorders, not the affective disorders. And as they are functionally called thought toward this chapter, and the correct word mood disorder will be used as DSM-4 and now also in ISD-10. DSM-4 and also we call it as ISD-10. Next, regarding that mood disorders, Kraepelin, borrowing from the work of Kahlbaum, Farlett and Balegar, described the manic depressive illness as separate from dementia precox on the basis of course clinical symptoms and outcomes. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the classification of mania. Classification of mood disorders in area which is fraught with multiple controversies. According to the ICD-10, the mood disorders are classified as follows. That is manic episode, hypomania, mania without psychotic symptoms, mania with psychotic symptoms, other organic episodes, and manic episode unspecified. So, what are the types? That is, first one, manic episode, hypomania, mania without psychotic symptoms, and mania with psychotic symptoms, other manic episodes, and manic episode unspecified. Now we'll see what is manic episode. See, manic episode, it is the lifetime risk of manic episode is about 0.8% to 1%. This disorder tends to occur in episodes lasting usually 3 to 4 months, followed by complete recovery. Further episodes can be either manic or depressive. A manic episode, definition of the manic episode, a manic episode is characterized by following features, that is elevated, expensive or irritable mood. Second one, psychomotor activity and speech and thought and goal oriented activity and other features, and especially absence of underlying organic cause. Under the first one, elevated, expensive or irritable mood, the elevated mood can pass through the following 4 stages depending on the severity of manic episodes. What are that 4 stages are? First one, euphoria, that is mild elevation of mood, and also we call it as stage 1 of mania. So what will happen in this euphoria? Increased sense of psychological well-being and happiness not in keeping with ongoing events. This is seen in hypomania stage 1. So what is that first stage? Euphoria, we also call it as mild elevation. Also we call it as stage 1 of mania. And second stage is elation, that is moderate elevation of mood. feeling of confidence and enjoyment along with increased psychomotor activities. This is classical of mania, also we call it as stage 2 mania. And third one is exhalation, severe elevation of mood, intense elation with delusions of grandeur. See, we are going to see in severe mania, that is stage 3rd mania, and ecstacy, very severe elevation of mood, intense sense of rapture or blissfulness seen in delirious or stuporous mania, that is stage 4. Along with these variations in elevation of mood, expansive mood may be present, which in increasing, unceasing and unselective enthusiasm for interacting with people and surrounding environment. See, along with these variations in elevation of mood, changes in mood, expansive mood may be present. Expansive mood, which is unceasing and under elective enthusiasm. In that, we cannot able to find out the factors unceasing and unselective enthusiasm for interacting with people and surrounding environment. At the time, they won't think how we have to interact with the people and surrounding environments. A times elevated mood may not be apparent. Instead, irritable mood may be predominant, especially when the person is stopped from doing what he wants. See, at the times elevated mood may not be apparent. Instead, irritable mood may be predominant. So that person, or for that many persons, times elevated mood may not be apparent. Instead, irritable mood may be predominant, especially when the person is stopped from the doing what he wants. So when that person thinks he is going to do something work according to his mind, at that time fear stopping means his mood may be going to irritable. There may be rapid, short-lasting shifts from euphoria to depression or anger. So it may be rapid for some time or short-lasting shifts from euphoria to depression. Okay, this is the first factor of elevated, expensive or irritable mood. Now, second one is psychomotor activity. There is an increased psychomotor activity ranging from overactiveness and restlessness to manic excitement, where the persons on the tandotu, that is involved in ceaseless activities. The activities is usually goal-oriented and based on external environmental cues. See, psychomotor activity here, the persons is going to increase the psychomotor activity ranging from overactiveness and restlessness to the manic excitement, where the person is on the tongue to go, that is involved in ceaseless activities. Unnecessary, they're going to involve in the activities. The activity is usually goal oriented and based on external environmental cause. And third one is speech and thought. The person is more talkative and usual, describes thoughts racing in mind, develops pleasure of speech, usual playful language with punning, rhyming, joking and teasing, and speaks loudly. So such kind of things you will do, that is speech and thought. What are the things? Either punning, rhyming, joking and teasing, and speaks loudly. Later there is a flight of ideas, that is rapidly produce speech with abrupt shifts from the topic to topic using environmental clues. Especially, usually the connections between the shifts are apparent. When flight becomes severe, incoherence may occur. And the fourth one is goal directed activity. The person is usually alert, trying to do many things at one time. See, goal directed activities means the person is unusually alert. He may not be alert, but trying to do many things at one time. He is going to do many things at a one time. And the fifth one is other features, such as sleep is usually reduced with a decreased need for sleep. That is, sleep is usually reduced. So when a person feels that mania, he is going to decreasing his sleeping habit. That is, sleep is usually reduced with decreased need for sleep. And the appetite may be increased, but later there is usually decreased food intake due to marked overactivity. So, and last one is sixth one, absence of an underlying organic cause. If manic episode is secondary to an organic cause, it is a diagnosis of organic mood disorder should be made. So these are the clinical features of the manic episodes. That is, once again I will repeat. First one, elevated, expensive or irritable mood. Second, psychomotor activities. Third one, speech and thought. Fourth one, goal directed activities. Fifth one, other features. And sixth one are the absence of an underlying organic causes. So these are the clinical features for the mania. Next, we'll see, move on to the etiology. So etiology as described into biological factors and psychological factors. Under the biological factors, first one is genetic factor. It plays an, what is the genetic factors, how will affect the genetic factor? It plays an very important role in mood disorder, that is monozygotic. Identical twins have a high rate of incidence than normal siblings and other close relatives. See, genetic factors, it plays a very important role in the mood disorders. Monozygotic, also we call it as identical twins. Monozygotic twins have a higher rate of incidence than normal siblings and other close relatives. Then first degree relatives is 5 to 10%, and identical twins with bipolar disorders about 40 to 70% of chance. Next, we'll move on to the psychological factors. Psychological factors as described as psychoanalytical factor, behavioral factor, cognitive factor, and sociological factor. So now we'll see what is psychoanalytical factor. Psychoanalytical factor, according to the Freud, mood disorder is due to the loss of loud objects and fixation in the oral sadistic phase of development. See, according to the Freud, mood disorder is due to the loss of loud objects and fixation in the oral sadistic phase of development. According to the mood, when we are going to loss of loud objects, whatever things we are loving, when we are going to lose that objects or persons at the time, oral fixation in the oral sadistic phase of development. So we are going to start the sadistic developments in the mind. And second one is behavioral factor. According to this theory, mood disorder is to repeated losses in the past. So when he is going, what are the factors affect on the behavior? Why it will affect? According to this theory, according to this theory, mood disorder is to repeated losses in the past. Continuously is going to losses something in this past. Due to that factors, he is going to changes in this behavior. And cognitive factor. Third one is cognitive factor. According to this theory, it is due to the negative cognition, which includes negative expectations of the environment, negative expectations of the future, negative expectation of the self. According to this theory, he is going to think about the negative things in his life. Example, negative expectations of the environment, negative expectations of the future, and negative expectations of the self. And fourth one is sociological factor, that is stressful life events. In daily life, they are going to face the stressful life events such as death, marriage, and financial losses. When the loved person is going to die, at the time he will feel become as a stressful and going to the depression such as death, marriage, and financial losses, etc. Next, we'll move on to the clinical features. What type of clinical features you can see? That is disturbance of mood. Elevated mood in mania has 4 stages depending on the severity of manic episode. Already we discussed, that is euphoria, first stage of mania, that is mild elevation of mood, elation, moderate elevation of mood, exhalation, severe elevation of mood, and acaxia, very severe elevation of mood. And second one, disturbances of speech and thoughts, flight of ideas, delusion of grandeur, deletion of perception, distractibility, pressure of speech, and speech is forceful. Next page, an increased psychomotor activity, volition, and other. And maybe if they will going to participate in the criminal activities, high risk activities, poor judgments, increased sociability, decreased need for sleep, decreased food intake, and decreased attention and concentration. Next, we'll move on to the treatment for the mania. So, treatment in that pharmacological management, pharmacotherapy, lithium 900 to 2100 mg per day you can give, and carbamazepine 600 to 1800 mg per day they can prefer. Sodium valproate 600 to 2600 mg per day, and other drugs such as clonazepam and calcium channel blockers may be preferred. And hospitalization, we have to advise if the patient is too excited and is unable. So why we has to be excited here? Increased factors in the psychomotor activity. Due to that, if the patient is too excited and is unable to manage or taking care himself, then hospitalization is necessary. And third one is electroconvulsive therapy, that is ECT. We can also use for acute manic excitement if not adequately responding to antipsychotics and lithium. And fourth one is psychosocial treatment. Family and marital therapy is used to decrease interfamilial and interpersonal difficulties. This is about the treatment pattern. And next we'll move on to the nursing management. If the patient is excessively active, provide restraints. We have to provide the restraints if the patient is excessively active, and provide activities that are helpful to others, and use the patient angry for good works. We have to use the patient's energy for good works, and educate the patients by showing dangers that may occur due to not following rules and regulations, and observe the patient behavior at least every 15 minutes. We have to observe the patient's behavior at least every 15 minutes. Why? Means it is going to elevate changes in his behavior. And administer medicine as per physician's order, and ask patient to participate in group activities that helps in maintaining proper. Ask patient to participate in group activities that helps in maintaining proper proper moods. So friends, this is about the mania and nursing management. If you like my video, you can this video, you can subscribe and share, and for more updates you can comment also. If you are feeling any doubts, you can type in the comment box. You can send your valuable comments. Thank you. We'll see you in next topics.